Well, hey, Blaze Church. I'm excited to be sitting here with Amy.
Yes.
My wife. You know her. And some friends of ours. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Hi, my name's Abdiel, member of Blaze Church, and this is my wife.
Hi, I'm Rylee.
Rylee.
Hey.
We're so excited you guys are sitting here on this couch. We thought it would be cool as we're in this series, Save the Date, for you guys to share a little bit of your story. You guys are married.
Yes.
You're sure?
Yes.
Just making sure you both know this. How long have you been married?
We married for we just hit a year in March.
Oh,
yeah.
Yay.
First
That's
year.
So sweet.
1 whole year. And how old are you guys?
I'm 21.
I'm 20. Just turned 20.
Just turned 20.
Just turned
Just
20.
turned
So
20,
you
yeah.
were
Same.
married at 19.
Yes.
I had just we got married.
I was 20
week,
and
like
she was 19.
exactly a week after my birthday.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I thought we were young.
Yeah. We were young. I was 19 when I proposed.
Yeah.
And then turned 20 in March and got married in August. I was 20 as well.
Yeah.
You guys have been married for 1 year.
Yes.
So
Thank you.
how did you guys meet before you got married? How'd you guys meet?
We met in high school.
Yeah, high school.
High school.
High school sweethearts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We met like our freshman year, but then didn't like really become like closer friends until our junior year, and then
And
that's when we started.
she
dating.
shot me down, she's trying to say.
Okay. Tell me about
Yeah, I
that.
wanna hear
So
that.
so you were pursuing her?
Yeah. So I got my car at 16. I was like one of the first kids in my class to get a car. I was like, oh, I'm feeling myself, feeling good. And then I was like, oh, this girl's cute. I'm gonna try to see if I can use my car as leverage. And I was like, we'll take you out, go downtown, go skateboarding, whatever you want to do. Because she had a skateboard, and I think she had posted something about her skateboard. And I was like, oh, I have a skateboard just like you. Go, I'll take you in the car out there. And then she was like, oh yeah, we'll see. One of those like.
You don't have a
no, I
chance.
guess.
I don't want to say no, but you don't have a chance.
Yeah. And then
Pretty
that
much.
led to we always hung out, not hung out, we hung around other people and saw each other.
At school, we had like mutual friends, but
Yeah.
not until junior. We had we actually had a class together.
Yeah.
So that's when we became closer friends. I
Closer
guess.
friends,
Okay.
yeah. And our relationship, to be honest, the start relationship was a little like rough, and then it was one pivotal moment that I always remember because I prayed about it, and I was in in my truck, and I was going to track practice, and my coach didn't show up that day, and we had gotten into a little not a dispute, but a little
Yeah.
thing. I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to talk to her anymore. I don't know if I want to keep this going. And then I was like, I'm gonna pray about it, and I prayed about it in my truck, and God's like, have mercy and just give have mercy on her, And I was like, I feel like genuinely in that moment, I was like, wow, I think I should just have a little peace. Let me see how this moment goes. I'll go to Chipotle. She was trying to invite me to go to Chipotle with her. And I was like, I'll go to
"Just come get
Chipotle.
some food. Let's hang out."
I'll see how it goes. And if it's your will, Lord, we'll see what happens. And I went to Chipotle, and to say the least, we talked for 4 hours at Chipotle.
Come on.
We
My
were
mom
at
called and she's like, "Are you alive? Are you okay?"
yeah.
Because I just told her "Oh, I'm
Really?
going to get some food," and it was
4 hours at
later.
Chipotle. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I was a big catalysmic event to Chipotle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
mean,
our
Chipotle
favorite
will form cataclysmic events.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you prayed.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that. So you have faith. You had faith in God before you started dating,
Mm-hmm.
right? So prayer, it sounds like, was a part of your life, and you had this moment where why prayer?
Because that's your communication to God, right? And the Bible talks about how we're closer to God than it might seem. It might seem like He's so far away up heaven, but realistically, the Holy Spirit's with us. It follows us. It guides us. And so I know that's there, and it's time to tap in. When I'm confused, when I'm not sure, I'm knocking on the door, hey, I need some help.
And you're what? I guess a junior. You're 17.
Yeah,
And
yes.
you're praying.
Yeah.
My goodness. Now, Rylee, did you have faith in God at that point?
So growing up, I did not go to church.
Okay.
I would go occasionally with extended family for Easter and Christmas and here and there, but I didn't go to church. I didn't know who Jesus was. Of course I knew there was a God, but I didn't have faith in Him. I was just oh, it's just somebody but I didn't understand. And then so when we started dating, he was come to church, and I was oh, I can't go there. No,
Yeah.
I can't. And then he after a lot of convincing, I was you know what, let me give it a try. Obviously to make our relationship work, it was something that he was had his whole heart in. So I was okay, let me go and see. And as soon as I walked into our old church, I was I'm supposed to be here. Mm-hmm. I don't even remember the first sermon
I
that I
remember the
went
first
to. I think it was Church versus State.
The
It was
first
like political.
sermon was political, and I was
wow.
like, "Oh God, this where's the loving peace?" I was like, "Ah."
Oh yeah, it was.
There
yeah.
goes my chances.
Yeah, and at
Thanks,
first,
Pastor.
At first I was like, whoa, like, this is weird, but like, I don't know, but like, I just felt so loved, like, as soon as I walked in, just from like the welcome team and everything like that, and then I kept going back, and I was like, okay, this is where I need to be, and then I felt it on my heart.
Wow.
And yeah, I got baptized almost a year
When
later.
I was in boot camp.
When
I was
he
in
was
boot
in
camp. And I opened the letter, and the letter she sent me was like a picture of her getting baptized, and like literally
Yeah.
cried as a
Oh,
boot
my
camp.
goodness.
Oh, guys,
Cried opening the
that
letter,
is
yeah.
so
Yeah.
beautiful.
Now, were you guys engaged at that point? When did you guys get engaged?
No, so we got engaged.
You were in
after-
boot camp.
Yeah, I was in
after
boot
he
camp.
got out.
No, I got out, and then I already moved to Texas because my first station was down there, and I was like, 4 or 5 months there, and then I was like 4 or 5 months there until I came back.
You came back
Because I came in November. So it was 4 months, right?
This is marriage.
Yeah.
You guys are just showing us.
Okay,
Bro,
4
listen, you're
months.
1 year in. Whatever she says about a
Yeah.
timeline is the
Probably
real
right.
timeline.
All right, so 4 months, and then that's when I flew back, and then I proposed to her there with a ring in Florida, and then
There was like long distance
Yeah.
a little
Long
bit
distance.
too.
Yeah.
Which is very unique.
Yeah, so he went to boot camp in September, graduated in November.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen him then, so it was 8 weeks, no communication. It was terrible. But that was like truly the test, because obviously we weren't
Yeah.
engaged yet. So we were like, that's the thing, like, are we gonna stick through this, or like, but there was a lot of tears, a lot of prayers, and we got through it.
Yeah.
And then I went to visit you for Christmas. So that was like the first time we had like really seen each other again, and like he wasn't like boot camped anymore, because like it was hard coming home. He was like didn't know what like reality was anymore. So that was like the first time we had seen each other, and then you came home to propose in February, and after that it was just like back and forth, like every like 2 or 3 months I would go visit him or he would come home. So
trying to
between
make it work.
Yep.
yeah, so between we got married in March, and then August was our wedding. So between then we were just
Okay.
back and forth, long distance.
Okay.
Yeah, that time was very like it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty hard because that time we were like, okay, we're saving up for the wedding. We're obviously putting all this money down, so it's like we're trying to limit ourselves on flights and limit ourselves on like going back and forth. Let's just push through it, and it was definitely hard. But it's like we have at the end of the day, like we had a strong relationship, and it's like we're in a way it made us stronger, and it was better than if we were together the whole time in a weird
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
So you guys got married young. You know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been told.
So how did you come to that conclusion? Because what I observe, what we observe, pastoring a church, just being in this world, right? You don't even got to be Christians. People aren't getting married at 20, 21. What drove you to that decision? How did you have peace to say, hey, this is the person I'm going to spend the rest of my life with?
Yeah, I think that comes down to your intent and being intentional in what you do. And for me, like when I was dating, I was like intentional what I want to be dating for. I was like, I want to be dating to either get married with this person, or I'd rather just go fishing by myself and do my own thing. It was like that's how I was like, to go do my own thing. I don't have to worry about being attached to someone else. But when like we started getting together, I saw something like serious, and I prayed on it. And when I got out of boot camp, and I was like, okay, my life, I just moved from my hometown. Like I'm in a whole different place. Like it's time to figure out, like put the big boy pants on. We're making life decisions. And I was like praying, talking to my dad, getting counseling. And like, if this is what you want from me, Lord, like open up the doors and open up the way, you know, for me to get married with her. And that's where it led to just like a lot of time to think, to pray, to be like, well, why am I in this relationship? Like, where do I want to see myself? And I think at the end of the day, it comes to a fear of commitment in a lot of people. And it's like, you have to make that jump, because at the end of the day, nothing's going to be perfect. Nothing's going to be planned out. Like, we're not like, oh, this is everything we have planned out for each other, set up on the road. Like, we're taking risks. Like, we're taking a risk being in a relationship, but we both are committed to making that work, right? And through Christ, like, you know, in the center of our relationship is what we have, like, our glue holding us together.
You said so
You
much
are-
there.
You're wise beyond your years.
I heard prayer, commitment to each other, intentionality, Christ at the center, right? All of that, it doesn't, age isn't the factor at that point. You're seeking counsel, talking to your dad. How about you, Rylee? Like, how did you know to say yes to this guy?
Well, from the beginning, we kind of had like talked about it that like we were wanting to get married, but of course you like say those things not really like thinking. But then like now looking back, I'm glad we did have those like adult conversations in a way, even though we were so young. But yeah, I think I just like talked to family and stuff like that, and I got a lot of like negative feedback because like a lot of my family, they don't go to church and they don't have like those foundations and stuff. So when I would say like, oh, we've been praying about it, they're like, oh, you don't know anything, like you're too young. But at the end of the day, I was like, this is a commitment between us and like and God as well. Like we don't have to really think about like, or we can take other people's like opinions into considerations, but we don't have to follow through with that. Like it's just an opinion.
Wow.
And like we had our faith and like what we wanted to do, and that's what we did.
Christ at the center. Yeah. Doesn't their story sound like ours?
It does.
Oh my goodness.
So cute and sweet.
So what would you guys say to, let's talk to young adults. You guys are in your early 20s. What would you say to that age group? You know, we're in this series, marriage, sex, relationships, save the date. Each of you give me one thing. Maybe Rylee, you speak to the ladies. Okay. You just think about that. Speak to the ladies. What would you say to them? And Abdiel, what would you say to the men who are believers trying to honor the Lord in a culture it's not easy? Maybe waiting and wondering and all of that. Just give me one thing that maybe it comes from your experience. You say, hey, here's what I would encourage you to do. As you're single, maybe considering marriage or wanting marriage, what are you telling your generation?
You ladies first, or
okay, I'll go first. So I would just say like, don't get trapped in like worldly things, and like stay true to like yourself and your morals. Like if you say, oh, I'm not gonna go out and I'm not gonna do this, like stick to that. Just because a guy comes to you and they're like, oh, let me take you on a date. Most of the time in today's culture, like they're like, I mean, obviously girls and guys both, like they have this picture of like, oh, I'm gonna go sleep with this person and this stuff. But like when you like know what you want and like you want to wait till marriage and you want to wait to do all that stuff, like don't just let the worldly culture take over your life, and like stay true to who you are.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that can happen a lot nowadays. It's like, oh, I'm on Tinder and I'm on Hinge and I'm on all these like dating apps where it's like people just want one thing. But I feel like you have to stay true to like what you want as a person, and like don't let that take over your life. So
that's great. How about you, Abdiel?
I'd say for me, the one word, like I mentioned earlier, is actually intentionality. And be intentional. Why am I seeking this person? Why? Like, think about your thoughts. Be like, oh, yeah, this girl. But then, like, wait, why do I really even want to be with this girl? Do I actually, like, see her for her? Do I see her as an object? Do I see her? What are my reasons behind it? And think deeper. And then don't like say, I guess, don't be shallow. And, hey, if you're with someone and you're already in a relationship and you've been in 2, 3, 4 years, maybe it's time to be like, okay, where are we going with this? You know, are we taking the next step? Are we not? Because like I said, some people are scared of commitment. And I feel like if you feel like you want to do that next step and the other person's on the same path, like, I mean, at that point, why not? And it's like, you got to take risks. And anything in life, you're going to take risks, right? Any business venture, anything. And same thing in life and a partnership. Take risks.
Wow. I think you're calling some people out, man. Come on, put a ring on it. If Christ is at the center, and that's what I love. Thank you guys for sharing your story. I believe this is going to encourage people. You are an encouragement to your generation, to generations behind you and in front of you, because you're sharing commitment, intentionality, Christ at the center, no compromise. So I'm just blessed that you guys came and sat on this couch and shared your story. So thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate it.